Hello and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, Jon Jordan. So it is the start of a new month, so time to look back at the previous month. So we're looking now at what happened in January 2021, the most popular blockchain games. So lots of dots. I like dots particularly because they kind of show the granularity of what's happening on a daily basis. So what we have here is the top 6 blockchain games. Every dot is the number of unique active wallets that was calculated on that day. It's tracked by DappRadar, so you can check all the data on DappRadar. So we can see here, there's obviously variation each day. Certain numbers of wallets kind of come on and interact with the game. That's a rough approximation to users. I think obviously some users may be using multiple wallets, but I think in most cases most people are probably just using one wallet. Otherwise it's a bit of a hassle. But I'm sure there is some overestimation here. But so what we can see, this is from November. So this is November, December, January. So 3 months, a quarter. And we can see that while there is kind of lots of variation, what we call volatility, it goes up and down a bit every day. There's some broad trends you can see. We'll look at the trends in a bit more detail in the next graph. But we've got 6 games here, and kind of the headline news here is we have one game. So we can see here in blue, Alien Worlds basically starts off from 0 in towards the end of December, and basically just goes up in a straight line, and it's still going up actually in a straight line. So that's been interesting because if we look back at the previous 3 months, and in fact if we look back over 2020, most games kind of stayed the same. Maybe had a bit of growth or a bit of decline, but most of these games have kind of fairly steady. We haven't seen a game before like Alien Worlds that starts from 0 and just goes straight up and is now actually the most popular blockchain game. So in the space of 6 weeks, it's gone from nothing to the most popular blockchain game. Interestingly, it's running on the Wax blockchain, which up to this point hasn't been very focused on gaming. It has actually, it's sort of a cross-chain game in some ways. So it has a currency in it, which is actually Ethereum based, an ERC20 token. But the game actually runs on the Wax blockchain, which makes it easier, more accessible to log in. You don't need a complicated wallet system. And it's sort of a kind of a bit of a mixture game, a bit of a hybrid. It has like DeFi elements. It has kind of mining elements. It's basically like a space world. You're going to planets and mining these tokens. And then there's a kind of an NFT element in terms of kind of the items in the game are an NFT that you can use as well. So it's kind of DeFi NFT gaming kind of mashup. They also, I think they helped their initial audience because there was a sort of an airdrop going on. So if you'd played some of the early blockchain games, something like Axie Infinity or Gods Unchained, those sort of games, you actually kind of got a boost to kind of get you going. So I think that encouraged existing kind of blockchain gamers to kind of check it out at least. And obviously it seems to be continuing. As I say, there's been no change in the if anything, the growth's kind of increased. So that's the kind of interesting thing for the start of 2020. Alien Worlds has bombed up. It's not the only game that's bombed up actually. So green here we have Upland. So Upland was one of the big success stories of 2020, and it's kind of up to this point hasn't had this kind of very strong growth curve, but it seems to have in December seems to have kind of changed, and is actually is probably now neck and neck with Splinterlands, which for a long time has been the most popular blockchain game. Splinterlands is kind of continuing at the same level, about 6,000 daily active unique wallets. But now it's interesting that as we enter February, we have actually 3 games that are having more than 6,000 daily active unique wallets. Obviously still a very small number in the big scheme of things, but it's interesting. We've not really had, this is the first time we've had more than one game over 6,000. So we'll see obviously how that plays out. Upland is a mobile-based Monopoly type game. It's been adding a lot of features. It's got a nice new roadmap coming out. Because it's on mobile, it's a mobile native game, so you can download it from the App Store or the Google Play Store. So potentially, obviously, there's millions of players that it could onboard. It's not really done a lot of marketing yet, to be honest. It's still quite in the early phases of where it wants to be. So that's kind of interesting that we have three kind of success stories, if minor success stories, in the blockchain game space. So that's good news. Further down, let's have a look. Prospectors. So this is actually running across the EOS and the Wax blockchain. So that's just in slow decline now. So the Prospectors team is actually launching a couple of other new games. So obviously looking for kind of other audiences. Crypto Dynasty continues its kind of slow decline. That's running on EOS. And then we have Axie Infinity, these kind of teal dots, which is up and down a lot, mainly because of gas fees. So it got very high or fairly high, I should say. Got over 3,000, over 2,000 daily active unique wallets in December, and then gas prices have got very, very high on Ethereum again, which has basically killed off a lot of the activity that we track, mainly breeding. But Axie Infinity has just launched its own sidechain, so the activity will increase. Whether we will be able to track that, I don't know. It's not very clear at the moment how open that sidechain will be for people just to kind of see what's going on that. But anyway, that's what's happened in the first month of 2021. Just a quick graph. So we also like to do these T30 averages, trailing 30-day average. And this is basically just averaging each one of these days here is averaged with the previous 29 days. So that gives us a smoother curve to see broader trends. In this case, the trends are kind of fairly obvious, but we can see Splinterlands here is still, because this is a trailing 30 days, so this data is being averaged with the whole of January effectively. So this point here is the average of the whole of January. So it kind of slows down growth and decline if the game was declining. So Splinterlands still number one on that one, over 6,000. We can see Uplands, this very rapid increase here in kind of mid. Well, I suppose it's kind of this. Let's have a look. Have a look at the raw data, so we can see kind of happening, going over 5,000 in kind of mid-December. So we can see that kind of continuing on, and then we have this kind of rocket ship for Alien Worlds just going pretty much straight up, and we can kind of see the decline of the other ones. It shows Axie Infinity a bit better actually. We can see here it kind of peaked in kind of mid-December, so that's the December-November traffic, gets to over 2,000 daily active unique wallets, and now kind of heads down. So that's what we see. Obviously, there's other ways of measuring these things. We're just looking at daily active unique wallets, the popularity really of these things. Obviously, another way of looking at it is the amount of value being put into these games. That's a bit more complex to look at, or a bit more complex to explain, because you have these big kind of sales and things which are not necessarily demonstrative of success, which is why I kind of choose DAUs, or daily active unique wallets, at the moment. But maybe we'll have to look at value in a bit more detail going forward in 2021, as some of these projects now are kind of doing quite well in terms of the amount of kind of revenue that's being passed around. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. This is Blockchain Gaming World, trying to make sense of blockchain games. So this is one of the things we do. We like data. Data always helps us see some trends, so that's good to do. Please subscribe to the channel if you find this stuff interesting. But thanks for watching, and see you again soon.